All right, so I have a mea culpa today. So we had this exciting conversation between Wendy and Connie Sheehan, and they covered a variety of topics. It was awesome, except someone screwed up the audio. That's me. So if you're having a hard time hearing this, head over to YouTube where we have captions. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this exciting conversation with Connie.
Welcome to this edition of the Masterlete Podcast. I'm Wendy Lutter, your host for today, and our guest is an inspiration, a masterlete, a true person who moves and knows how important that is. Connie Sheehan, who is the founder of Push, will be here today and talk to us all about how she started as someone who never moved to becoming a triathlete and a marathon runner, and then creating her own fitness studio called Push Fitness. So I'm glad you're here, and I invite you to the great conversation we're going to have. Welcome, Connie. I am so happy and thrilled to have you on our Masterlete podcast today. You and I have known each other for a long time.
Long time, my friend. Long time.
And I have always admired your tenacity, your energy, and your joy around movement. And you have had such a great journey, and it's been, for me, amazing to watch and see your dreams come true around fitness. And so I'm so happy that you're here talking to us today, because you really are at the heart a true masterlete. So welcome and thanks for being here.
Well, thank you. And I am going to claim it. I am a masterlete. I am claiming that as of today. So
I love it. That's fantastic. We need more Connies who are already out there. But yes, you are a masterlete, and I'm so excited to talk to you about your story. Okay. So first, tell us a little bit about how you came to fitness.
Well, I came to fitness late in life. Late in life. What does that mean?
What does that mean? That doesn't late in life. Yeah. No.
So I was in my. I think I was probably. This is so funny to say late in life. I think I was in my 30s.
Connie.
I know, late in life. It was late.
That's baby. No. Yes. Okay, we got to reframe that. But anyway.
Yes, and so later. So in high school, no sports at all. In my 20s, really did nothing.
So in high school, did you move at all, or you just were not interested, or I wasn't available to you?
It definitely was not available. I went to an all-girls high school.
Okay.
And we had a gym class, and I remember the gym teacher saying to us, like, for gym, we did just really very low-impact things, and like tried to teach us how to play volleyball, I think. Oh, and cheerleading. Yeah. Okay. So.
And if you're not coordinated and
well, you know I'm coordinated. I'm totally coordinated.
That's true.
And anyway, I don't count cheerleading as gym. And so it was very limited, very sexist now that I think about it. Like, cheerleading, really? That's what
we get to do? You get to cheer for other people instead of do it yourself?
Yeah.
That was in my family growing up. I was not allowed to be a cheerleader because my parents said, why would you cheer for somebody else when you can do the sport? And that's always stuck with me, and it's true.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, jazzercise.
Jazzercise.
Tell me about jazzercise.
Yes. So whatever it was called, I went to the class, and basically you danced. It was 45 minutes. It was in Chicago. I remember it was a really, really small room, and we were all so sweaty. Just like, will someone turn a fan on? But Wendy, I went religiously every week, and I learned that routine. I could teach that routine.
Could you do it right now?
Oh, probably. But I just memorized it. I just learned the routine, and every time I left that class, I would be so happy. I would feel so energized, and
so you got that adrenaline going. You got that dopamine that happens when you exercise for the first time.
And didn't know what it was, didn't know what it was called, except that I felt great. And I'm like, I want to keep doing this. And in my naivete at the time, I thought it was dancing. I thought it was only dancing. That was the answer.
That you just had to dance. That was the only thing. So you just had to find ways to dance.
If you could dance, then you would feel good. And
I kind of wish there was a way that we could figure out dancing every day. But
yes.
anyway,
yes.
that would be great.
Oh, we could.
We could. So you go to Jazzercise and you start making that part of your routine.
Yes.
And then what happens?
And I loved it. And then I met this guy who wanted to go on walks. We were dating, and he wanted to go on a walk. He wanted to walk to the park, and I'm like, I'm tired. I want to sit on the bench and hold your hand. And he's like, actually, walking is fun, and it was. So
another movement then that you started to see.
Yes, and I grew up in Chicago, and this was in Chicago, and we had that beautiful lake.
Yes.
And then
there for you.
Yes. So then.
And had you never done that before?
So when I was little, we would go to the beach. We would go to the lake, Lake Michigan, and play. But it was different when I was older. Like, just to be purposeful, to walk along the beach, and then just the beauty of that.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Being
so
near
beautiful.
water. Oh man! And so I started putting two and two together. That it's not just dancing. It's not just walking with a guy who thinks you're cute.
That helps though.
That helped immensely.
Made the walking not seem like a chore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so then I figured out, okay, maybe there's just something to movement. Maybe if I can just move. So then I got hooked on going to classes. I started going to the Y, and all of the classes I took had some component of almost like rhythm. So I would take a step class, or I would take a pre-choreographed class that required me to have some type of rhythm. And
so you felt like that dancing piece continued through that with the step or with some of the other aerobic classes.
And I know myself, Wendy, that's something that I'm very much drawn to. If something, I can move my body in some type of choreographed way, where I have to have my mind engaged with it, I love it. Oh my gosh.
And then you don't think about so much that you're even moving or sweating or.
Yeah, and that's part of it, but I love like being able to conquer the step like afterwards, like, oh, I got that shuffle on the buffalo. I know how to do that now.
So on a side, for people listening to this, Connie and I have been taking tap dance together for the last 4 years, and we have not conquered that yet.
Definitely have not.
So that's something that we're going to keep trying, right?
True,
as we get older, still trying, bringing in new ways to move.
Yeah.
But yes, that you definitely in the classes that I've taken from you, you are able to really get people involved with that coordination and that movement. So you go to the Y.
Yes.
And then what happens?
So I go to the Y, and I start taking classes religiously, and I'm there all the time. And the instructor is pregnant, and she needs to go on maternity leave. So they're going to cancel the class.
You're like, no, you're not.
What? Oh, no. No.
Not after we've been coming here and we need this movement.
So I went to the Y manager and said I could teach that class. And she's like, I bet you could. Do you want to get certified? And I'm like, absolutely. And so that's how I became an instructor.
That was the beginning of this whole history. How many years ago was that?
So at least that was probably 18 years ago.
Okay.
18 years ago, when I moved here, So interesting note about that. So the YMCA that I went to, that I was at teaching, is in a neighborhood that was diverse. There were definitely BIPOC folks. Only white folks were in the class. Only white folks.
What do you think was up with that?
Okay, this is what the question I asked myself. What's going on? Is it because there isn't a person of color leading?
Yeah.
And maybe if I led, and Wendy, that is exactly what happened.
Is it really?
That is exactly what happened. When
So
I started teaching, people of color started coming.
And that is the whole, if you see it, you can be it. And that's in the gender classes that I've taught about women in business, it's that same thing. It's you don't know that you can be it unless you see that. So that started happening at the Y.
It sure did. And I kept saying, come on, you're in a neighborhood, you know you got brown faces around here. Why are they not coming to the class? And I started teaching, and they started coming.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
And then tell me, is that what gave you the idea to start your own fitness company of Push?
100%. Thank you, YMCA. Because honestly, truly, I just thought, for sure people started coming, people of color started coming, and I just kept thinking, wouldn't it be great if I just had a space that was for people of color, that they knew they would be safe, they would have someone leading them that looked like them. And the Y is great, and it's very diverse. There are many white people there. And so I thought, I want to mix it up. I want to try and just create a space that's geared toward people of color. So, yep, that is exactly where that idea came. And I had seen statistics about people of color, higher rates of heart disease, diabetes. I mean,
some of the health statistics are
higher,
grim.
but yeah, very, very grim.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can do things not to alleviate it, but do things that can help your body contradict those.
To really to help make it not happen as quickly, or maybe not happen at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to come back to that, but I want to. Yeah, I want to. So, how old were you when you were teaching the classes at the Y? You were in your 40s when you started?
Yeah, for sure.
And then
I was in my 40s.
And then you also started running. And when you ran your first marathon at
40? I don't know. I think I was 40. Either I was 40 or 41, but I was in my 40s. Yeah.
So how did you move from jazzercise to a marathon runner?
Well, I had a little stint in between of becoming a triathlete.
Tell me about that. Just a little stint.
I became a triathlete first, and then I decided to be a marathon runner.
And how did that go? How do you go from being in a gym class of like you have never thought about moving in your life to all of a sudden being a fitness instructor in your 40s, starting in your 40s, total Masterlete era, to a triathlete to a marathoner? Walk us through that.
Okay, it is such a great question because when it happens in your life, you don't stop to think about how it happened, right?
Right.
But there was a progression. There really was a progression. And I would say a big part of it was my friend group and the folks that I hung around with. So I worked with some women, and one of them did a triathlon, and I was intrigued. What is this triathlon? And let's be clear, I could not swim. But I was like, that's interesting.
Like you could not swim for real?
Could not swim.
You did not know how to swim?
I did not know how to swim.
And then you became a triathlete.
Yes.
That's pretty incredible.
Well,
That's
friend.
motivation.
This podcast isn't long enough, but I would tell you that I tried to do the Chicago Triathlon 3 times and failed. And I got pulled out of the water because I got terrified. I learned to swim. I went to a master class for swimmers.
Amazing.
It was amazing, and I learned to swim, and I got in that water, and I just froze. And the first time they had to pull me out of the water, I mean, I was just...
Were you panicking?
Panicking.
Oh, Connie, that's the worst. I have been a swimmer my whole life, and when I do the triathlon swim part, it still can make me panic. Yeah. So I can imagine as a new swimmer, and especially it's so much harder, you can do it, but it is... I feel like it's harder to learn things the older you get. When you're young, it just is that muscle memory. You know, I was thrown in a pool when I was 1, and so I don't even remember learning to swim, and yet I still have had that panic in a triathlon. So I imagine that was terrifying. But you did it. You went back and you did it.
I did it. And the story, the short story, after the 3rd time I went back, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. This is the last time I'm going to try it. If I do it, I do it. And I was ready to go. My wave was getting ready to be called, and they had me by color of swim cap. And I saw them lining up, and I panicked. And I just stood there, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I started crying, because this is what I do. And I'm standing amongst a bunch of people with my pink swim cap on, and I'm sobbing. And I'd asked my family not to come, because it's embarrassing. You know, they come twice, and
they're like, oh no,
me.
Here's mom again.
Yeah.
Here's
so
my
please
sister
don't
again.
come. Let me just
have my moment.
Exactly.
Terrifying by myself.
Yes. And I called him an angel. This guy kind of parted the waters. He's an African American guy. He had on a Speedo. He had a very large belly. He should not have been wearing that Speedo, but you know, whatever you need to do.
Absolutely.
And he walked up to me and he was
it.
like, girl, why are you crying? And I just, crying. I can't do it. And he just looked at me.
He got out of the water?
No, he was in my way.
Oh, okay.
But he saw me crying and like, what is your problem? And so I just broke down and said, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And he just looked at me. He's like, okay, you're not doing this for you. You're doing this for every, make me choke up, for every Black girl that can't show up today, that hasn't trained, that has none of the resources. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for her. And I was like,
wow.
Okay. And it just took me out of myself. And he's like, when you get in that water, you are not going to swim with the group. You're going to swim outside. And it's further out and it's going to take you longer, but you will not be around people. And it was just it was so counterintuitive. I'm like, I got to go fast. I got to be inside. He's like, no, swim outside. Swim outside on the perimeter. You're going to be away from the crowd and you will finish this swim. And Wendy, I got in that water, and I kept thinking, I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the girls.
Oh my gosh,
need it.
goosebumps.
Girl,
that was incredible that he, at that moment, saw you and came up and gave you that motivational speech that then actually changed the course of your life to then be able to finish this and then go on and start your own business, your own fitness business, and now you are doing this for little girls and old girls and old women and all these other Masterletes around.
Full circle, right? Yeah. I never saw him again, right? Of course. I finished
But I bet you can still picture him.
Absolutely, with his Speedo on. But yes. And so that was my first triathlon that I actually completed. Yeah.
And then did you do more?
I did. I did more. I did a couple more. And then I moved to Minnesota, and I heard that there was a pretty great. No, actually, I was already here. I think I had flown to Chicago. I was in St. Louis, so I was like, there's a pretty good race that they have here, and the crowds are great, and so I'm like, I think I want to try it. I think I want to see what it would be like to do a marathon, and it was very, very difficult. I'm not a very fast runner. It was a tough one for me, and I did 2, and I'm like. Let's just go ahead and count that. That's all I need to do.
But you're still doing half marathons.
Yeah, regularly.
Which is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you talked about community. I want to talk about community a little more because I know for you, we've talked about you have this incredible community that moves together. Yeah. Tell me about your 2 running clubs that you have had, how'd they start, and what do they do for you?
So I didn't start them. I joined both of them, and the one running club that we meet 3 times a week, and
at 6 a.m. right?
At 6 a.m. That's
winter
important.
or spring or summer in Minnesota. Winter at 6 a.m.
We ran this morning. That's right. We run.
It's very dark and cold.
You
ran this morning in the snow in negative whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. You get out there and you're like, why are we doing this? And then afterwards, yay, it's so great. So they were meeting. They were meeting every, I found out about the group. They meet at the corner. This is what I love about the group. Whoever shows up, shows up. So you just, you know someone is going to be there to run with you. And that's what we do. And we go and we get our little run in. It's very short. It takes us about 30 minutes and we run and we are invigorated. So
do you talk while you run?
Yes, and I know some people don't like to talk while they run, and we are big talkers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we talk.
If you're getting up at 6 a.m., you better be getting some more than just moving your body.
We solve every problem of the world. Yes, everything has been solved in 30 minutes. And
that's the best thing about moving with people is that you really can. You feel like you've got that way to just be free, right?
Yeah.
So tell me why community is important. Why is it important that you run with these people instead of by yourself?
I really think there is some component that I do better with other people. So maybe it's not true for everyone. Maybe it's not, everyone doesn't need a community, but I need a community. I need that. I need someone to be accountable to show up. And Wendy, I just get out of myself. So when I went this morning to go for the run, I had so many problems. Just wait till they hear what happened. I'm going to tell them about this, and this. And then I get there and somebody's mama has died. And it's like,
oh, my problems aren't that big.
Okay. Yeah. And somebody else, is going for a job interview and they aren't sure that they're going to get a job. And all of a sudden, my shoulder, like, seriously, honey? Yeah. So it really puts it in perspective for me. And it's not like who has the worst problem. It really just puts it in perspective.
And it gives you that community of oh, we all have problems. Let's all help each other out here.
Yeah.
And also run and feel really good after that you accomplished something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the accountability, I think, seems like it's huge.
It's huge. It is huge, yeah. And there's a lot going on in our world right now.
Yeah.
And this community, I am just a firm believer that right now we need connection. Like, we need to be connected to people in person.
I agree with you so much.
Okay.
We are so on our phones. We are so like doom scrolling. You see this so much loneliness and depression that's out there. And like you said, it's amazing. Even when we can start talking about something like fitness, what happens? It's like we just connect and we're able to share stories and to feel better, I think. Even if both of us are in a bad place, when you're able to connect and when you're able to move together, I completely agree with you.
And even if we aren't, the part of me, when you were just talking, I was thinking, do we actually need to physically be touching each other? And it's not so, right? I mean, you don't, like, I think some people think, oh, community, locking arms, yeah, that's beautiful. But that's not what we do. This community, we're just running beside each other.
And that energy that you can feel just by the energy that we feel right now together being in this room is that real community part that I think that we're missing right now. And that's some of what we're hoping to do with this podcast, with Masterlete, with trying to see how do we bring all these people who love to move, whatever way that is, together, because we're really missing that, it seems like, a lot these days.
Yeah.
So you have another running group that you were telling me about.
I do.
And so you've got two. You've got the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you have a different one for the weekend.
And there's a little bit of overlap. Some of the people do both. But the one on the weekend that's the training crew where we train for a half marathon every year. And it's the absolute best because it forces you to run in the winter. Run long.
So do you pick a half marathon that's in the winter purposely?
We do. And
Okay.
we just picked it. We usually pick it in October or November. And then, so we're going to San Francisco.
Oh, fun.
Very fun.
So do you get to go somewhere warm to do the half marathon? Do you train here, or is it?
We usually try to go somewhere warm.
Okay.
We've done a lot in California. So we usually try. We did last year, Sedona. Which was lovely. Yes, lovely.
So you're getting to see a new place, and you're getting to run
Exactly.
and move with your friends while you're there.
Yep, and we run through the winter, right? Because it's very possible. I don't know if you looked at the weather forecast, but it's supposed to be very cold on Sunday. So if I weren't training for this, if I didn't have to do 8 miles on Sunday, I might say I might skip this week. Yeah, I might, and there's nothing wrong with skipping. Skipping is fine.
But that goal gives you something that you have to do.
Oh, my friend, I will run on Sunday. Because
what's the temperature supposed to be?
It's supposed to be maybe negative something. But it's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be cold. And as I say, I wouldn't run.
It's all about what you wear anyway, right? It's the weather doesn't matter.
Yes.
Just get on those mittens and that hat and that scarf and
then
you're good.
Taking stuff off.
Then you start sweating and you feel good.
So great. It's so great. So, yeah.
So I heard that you have a specific goal of something that you all are trying to do. Tell us what that is.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Is it my goal? Oh my gosh. Wendy, do you have to bring that up?
I do.
Okay.
I think it's a great story.
So I'm not sure of the term, but the thought behind the term, whatever that term is, let's say it's called Miyagi. That's not the right term though. But you're supposed to attempt something that is very, very difficult to achieve. There's a 50% chance that you will not achieve it. So that's the one criteria. The second criteria is that you will not die.
That's a really good.
So, okay.
I'm very happy to hear about that second criteria. I don't want you dying, my friend, to trying to do something that involves movement.
So I'm just embarrassed now that I can't remember the name of it, but I know that was the criteria, right?
Okay.
So I'm
those
sure
two things. Yeah.
Yes. So we decided that there are 6 of us that we were going to try to do a pull-up. One pull-up, Wendy. Just one to try to do a pull-up. So that is the goal. So there is a 50% chance, and the goal is to do it by January 1st. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be it. I'm going to keep trying. So I've been trying to do a pull-up.
And do you do them all together as a group, or you do?
And on your own, we've been, texting each other, how's it going? And people are coming back saying, I can do it assisted, like with a band. And someone whose name might be Connie said, I can't do it at all. And there's progressions, right? You hang first from a bar, and there's all these great progressions, and I just haven't been able to get to it and do it. So.
And have you been able to find out about other people in their 50s and 60s doing pull-ups?
That's the part that has just been so discouraging. So we just Googled, right? Like, is it safe for a woman my age in her 60s to do a pull-up? And I think we found maybe one, maybe two, but very little information about a woman for our age. There's lots of information about younger women.
About 20-year-olds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, what I'm finding is you question the credibility of some of the stuff that you see out there when there's such a small amount. So it's where's the credible, science-backed, research-backed information for people who are trying to move and continue to have this health span as we age in our 50s and 60s and 70s and hopefully beyond.
Yeah.
So,
and the women that are doing the pull-ups with me, they're all the same age as me. We're all in our 60s. And I would say most of them are going to be able to do that pull-up. I mean, they're
fantastic.
We're strong. We are strong. We just need the technique. But it's very frustrating.
And it is hard too, isn't it? Because there really hasn't been this generation before us. There haven't been people who are 90 who, when they were 60, were doing pull-ups. Mm-hmm. So this is where we get to be the inspiration for that next generation. But it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to say, well, okay, what are we supposed to do? Yeah. So what have you all done? How have you decided to tackle that? So, are you doing the plan for a 20-year-old?
We are, and I don't, it's for a younger person for sure, but there's a progression. And, start by hanging. So that's what we're doing. But it's deceiving because the other one, there was another article that came out, but there was this woman bodybuilder. Like, okay, she's a bodybuilder. Her upper body strength is very different than mine.
Yes. And no matter what, even if you started now, you probably wouldn't end up being that physique, right?
Never. That's just not. We're going through the hang from the bar for a while for 30 seconds and then progress on. So that's what we're doing. It is actually fun to have accountability partners and to say, how's it going? I'm going to request that we push it back to the end of January just because I need an extra 30 days. We'll see.
I think that's good. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you've done all this amazing stuff personally with your fitness. And then you, as we touched on a little bit before, you created this great center, a physical place for people to come. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the name Push.
Okay, so Push is my name of my fitness club. And the way that I came up with the name was I want you to be physical, strong, and healthy. So P-U, physical you, strong, healthy. But it just didn't flow. So I just let's just call it Push. Nobody will ask me what it means. So
Except me.
Except you. But yeah, physical, strong, and healthy.
Which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That tell me about strength. And this is something that I am finding as I'm 58 and through menopause and all the challenges that happen with that, and lots of people not knowing. We'll talk about misinformation about like, what should you do? How do you keep this? And hearing so much about how women as we age should strength train. Tell me about that and your thoughts on strength training.
I think strength training is so important. Just as we age, to be able. I know there are physiological things that are important for strength training. I understand that. But for me, I think about what I want to do as I age. I want to be able to play with my grandkids. I want to be able to carry things, heavy things. I want to go on an airplane and be able to lift my bag up and put it in.
So that functional fitness, that functional piece of wanting to do those things.
That's the strength for me, right? That is the strength that I want. And the other part of it is there was just something so empowering for me to be able to lift heavy weights.
I agree. It's just great, isn't it? You're like, okay, I'm a badass here.
I'm
Look at me.
badass.
Look at me with these
Absolutely.
weights on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a little gray hair, but I am strong.
Mhm.
And that feels so good.
It feels so good. And I don't know that a lot of women have had that joy. Like, they're afraid of it. And I say, come, just try it. Just try it. It's not, it'll be fun. And then it is.
And so when you train people, women especially, are you getting them to see that joy of,
Yes.
of being able to push some big weight?
Yes, it's so much fun. They get scared of it. Oh my gosh, when we have to push the sled. It's so scary. Don't put that much weight on it. And then you put it on and they can do it.
They go, what do they say?
They say, oh my gosh, that was great. Or in the middle of it, they're just grunting and sometimes cursing specific people. And I'm like, go, do it. This is a great release, right? I mean, to get that off of yourself as you are pushing against something, it is great. And men have known it for a long time. Men have done it for a long time. And it's just, for some reason, I don't know, it's just been, I haven't had access to it. I will speak for myself. I haven't had access to it. And getting access to it, it is just great. It is great.
Do you think some of that is that we were told, especially in our generation, of, well, girls don't lift because you don't want to get big and strong and bulky, and that doesn't look ladylike. And I just remember growing up and I did come from a really athletic family, but you didn't lift weights. You ran or you swam, but oh my gosh, don't lift weights. And what a miss there that was.
A huge miss, right? Yeah. I remember hearing something like, you won't get bulky. And I'm like, yeah. And it's true. I never got bulky. I just got toned. It's great.
And strong, like you said, so that you could go on that airplane and lift that suitcase.
That my body could do what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right?
And then when we think about that aging, to be able to stay moving for longer.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's such a fallacy, right, Wendy, that women shouldn't lift weights because they'll be bulky. We shouldn't continue moving because we're going to be old and we won't be able to move. It's such a lie. Like,
if we keep moving, we're going to be able to keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep those joints going.
And it's not magic.
It's
just keep moving.
Just get out there and do it.
Things will happen. Things will happen with our body. No doubt. I'm not trying to avoid age. And I can keep moving.
Yeah.
I can keep moving.
That is so
and
true.
I just think it's just a story we've been told that as you get older, you should stop. And it's like, it's
that's where we have to break the cycle. That's why we have to tell these stories. That's why we have to have these examples, I think, of, wow, look at that person.
Yeah.
Look at that person in her 70s who just did that, or 80s or 60s. And to be able to think, wow, we can and should do this.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you to be able to make this dream come true of have a fitness center specifically where I know, because I've gone, you welcome all people, but specifically to trying to get women of color to realize how important fitness and movement is. What's that been like for you?
Oh, man. It's been so great. Sometimes I just have to stop and take it in and notice it. Like, wow. So I recently had my triathlon.
Which I want to pause and say, when we go back to the triathlon, here you are, someone who didn't even know how to swim and did your first triathlon, and now you put on a triathlon. And how many years have you done this?
Okay, so last year was year number 6.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a big pat on the back for that one. So with the triathlon, the goal was, the first triathlon was 2020. I think it was one of the only races in town. And we're trying to do it under the radar so it wouldn't get busted. Because who was doing a race? You couldn't do races. You weren't supposed to be touching each other. And golly, we'd all die. So I did it in 2020 was the first race. And
a memorable year for sure. You're never going to forget that year as your start.
Yeah. And the goal was always to have 50% people of color. That was the goal, no matter what.
Which is incredible, because when you do go to triathlons, they are pretty dang white.
Yes. Yeah. I would say most races overall. There are some running races now that have a little bit more people of color, but triathlons for sure. for sure. So the goal was 50% people.
And was there a goal of the number of women you wanted in that, or you did just people of color?
Just people of color. Yeah. It's interesting, Wendy. Most of the people who come to my club are women, so I didn't have to worry about that.
That was already.
I got my women.
Yes.
I got my women. So this year, we had probably 70, high 60%, probably 70% people of color.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank
That
you
is
so much.
so cool.
So to look around, all of these brown faces swimming. It is not a stereotype that Black people can't swim. Many Black people can't swim. And to have all of these Black people in the water swimming, so great. Running.
Look what you did. From not being able to get in the water and having that man come up to you, and then to be able to fast forward this to being able to provide people a safe, welcoming space where they can do a triathlon.
Yeah. So when you ask, well, what does it feel like? I stopped then and I just looked around like, wow, this is what I wanted. This is the space I want. I want a safe place for people to come together. And I always tell them at the beginning of the triathlon, this is really about community building. This is not a race. Maybe you thought it was a race when you signed up. Surprise, it's about community building.
So we get back to community and the
we
importance
totally
of community.
And we are there to support each other. So when you are running, you are going to be high-fiving people. And when you see people on the bike, you may pass them perfectly fine. You're going to be like, keep up the great work. And I didn't need to tell them that. They were on it already.
But that's also so great in terms of creating that atmosphere. Because some races you do go and you're like, oh my gosh, I've done a triathlon once where someone swam over me. Talk about terrifying. So that was not a good situation. So are the people who come older people at the triathlon? Are they teens and 20s, or would you say they're more of that Masterlete age?
There's a real nice division. So my youngest triathlete this year, I think, was 13.
Wow.
And my oldest was 77. And there's just a range. I would say probably skews a little bit more toward 40, 50, 60 are the age groups.
But again, how great to be able to be creating a place where age is not an issue and people can see all these folks moving from that maybe not the youngest person, but still being able to move. So you have been driven by purpose. This is such a purpose-driven story about Push. Talk to me about that. Tell me about purpose and why you think purpose is important as we think about it relating to moving and to expanding your health span.
It's what gets me out of bed in the morning, right? I mean, when I wake up in the morning and I think about my day and I think about what I am going to do, and I make a decision whether or not I'm going to run, right? I do that 3 times a week, make a decision whether or not to put on clothes to go out and run. And I think about my purpose. What is driving me? And because of my purpose, I am able to get up and I do what I need to do. So it's important for me, Wendy, and I try to let my crew, my triathlon team, my running buddies, my family, I try to let them know you need a purpose too. You will not get out of bed because of my purpose.
Exactly, right? It has to be your purpose and my purpose might be similar, but they're very personal. And
That's right.
It's so important to have that purpose.
Yeah. And if you don't, I don't know why you get out of bed anymore. I don't know why you do it, right? That's what anchors me. That is, I'm like, okay, I want to be healthy. I know I have a big day ahead of me. If I run, I will have a better day. This day will go better if I run. I know that. And my purpose is to have a good day. My purpose is to get through the day and
be the best you can be.
Be the best Connie. And I will be a better Connie if I run. I know that. And so, that's the thing that I really struggle with is just trying to remind people that they need a purpose.
So when you're training
Yeah.
people and when you're working with people, do you do that? Do you talk to them about purpose?
I do, and it's a difficult thing. I mean, I think it's interesting that we're getting to this now in our conversation. It's not anything you jump into as soon as you, hi Connie,
What's your purpose?
No.
And then it also feels really trite. It
Yeah.
feels fake,
Yeah.
and I think talking about purpose feels like it's a deep personal thing. So
pretty intimate.
yeah, but it is so essential to, I think, to how you lead your day. And for me, I'm the same way. Having that movement in my day helps me become the better person that I want to be, a better friend, mom, wife, all those things that I feel like without that, you don't have.
Yeah.
Tell me about how it makes you feel when you run. How does do you feel like it impacts your emotional, mental health?
100%. It definitely does. So when I'm doing it, does it feel great? I mean, it feels okay. The community
has that
feels great.
changed how you feel actually physically doing it as you've aged?
Actually, it has, yeah. Because I'm more aware of it. It has always been those first couple miles are really hard for me. That's just me. That's the way that I run. The first 2 miles were very difficult in a race. And now I know it. And I'm just like, oh.
So you've gotten older and wiser.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be hard, and we're going to get past it, and then we're just going to go. So the wisdom with age has been good. But the bonus is afterwards, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, man.
That feeling that if we could bottle it, we would make millions of dollars, but you can't. You just get to hang on to it and be like, wow. Yeah, that's for me. I think about when I was young, I could go, I didn't even I took for granted that freeingness feeling of just being able to go. And now it hurts a little more and I have to go slower, but I'm still out there. And that's the part that from an emotional, mental health standpoint that I feel like is so amazing. And that's why we keep doing it. So looking back, what would you tell someone? What advice would you give them if they haven't moved yet and they're trying to move? What would you tell them to one small step that you think they could do?
I probably would tell them to get a buddy. I'd probably tell them to get a buddy. Even if that buddy is not going to actually physically go out with you, I have accountability buddies all over the place. And so just to say, my brother is in Chicago, and he's not a runner at all. And he calls me every now and then and says, I'm going to go walk to the store. I'm like, awesome. And he just texts me, I'm walking to the store. And then I said, text me when you get back. And it is just his way. So if you had somebody to just connect with, I think it makes a difference. No, I don't think. I know it makes a difference. So I guess that's the advice I would give. I would say for sure do it. I always say just do it for like a minute. When people say, I can't go outside in the winter. It's too cold here. And I say, go outside for real. Bundle yourself up and go outside for 20 seconds. Set a timer and go outside for 20 seconds. You know they stay out there longer than 20 seconds. It's so beautiful.
And then they get out there and they think, wow, I can be out here.
And then they look at the timer and they say, okay, I'll just stay out for a minute. And even if you stay out for a minute. So I guess that's the other advice is that just do it in tiny increments. Just start. But my gosh, we live in a beautiful place. And when I moved here, I thought, this is not the place for me. It's too cold. And I embraced it.
And now look at you. You're going to be out there running on Sunday morning in the negative, and you're going to be smiling.
And I'm going to be all bundled up and properly dressed. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for being an inspiration to so many people. You've been an inspiration for me all these years that I've known you. It is a joy to see you be able to accomplish these goals and to bring so many people into the world of movement. And I just can't wait to see what you do in the next 10, 20, 30 years and how you're just going to keep showing us with those triathlons and all that movement, Connie. So thank you.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it. I just remembered so many things today. So thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, my friend.
Yep.